lock down a man. You know, I think this has proved to be very useful information for 2016. Because I don't know what is with our generation, but I think it's safe to say we're a little fucked up. You know, I think we really struggle when it comes to commitment. We have so many options with all of these social media sites and dating apps, and I just think people are reaching a point where they're always looking for the next best thing, and they're not really wanting to be locked down with anyone. But ladies, I am here to tell you, if you treat a man right, you can lock that down. You can lock that down, and I'm here to teach you how. In the past 10 years of my life, I have been in not one, but 2 relationships that each lasted 4 years. And those relationships have taught me so much about men, guys. So much. But the tips in this video are not all just taken from my personal experiences. They're also from books that I've read that were written by relationship experts. So there are 2 books that I've read that completely changed my outlook on dating, and those books are where I'm pulling the majority of this information from. The first book is called The 5 Love Languages. Absolutely brilliant read. Every couple needs to read this book. And 2, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. This is a classic book. Totally explains why men and women think and function and kind of analyze differently. Now, before we get started with the video, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there, ladies. This video is for you, okay? But that does not mean that men are off the hook, okay? Men need to put forth just as much effort as you do, okay? But since I'm a woman, I am making this video, you know, woman to woman, but that does not mean that men don't need to step up their game, because they do. Also, super quick, if you're new to my channel and you're not already subscribed, stop and take a moment, hit the little subscribe button. That way you'll never miss one of my videos. This first tip is honestly the most important one, ladies. You must accept him for who he is and not try to change him. Now, I know this is truly going against our nature because we are fixers, we find problems, and we want to vocalize it. As women, we get a little nitpicky, you know? We get a little overly particular. We like to give our opinion when it's not needed. I'm guilty of this too, I really am. But you have to learn to resist that. Over time, it's gonna eat away at him. He's gonna feel like he's not good enough for you, and it's just going to crush his soul. So you can't do it. You can't do it. And if you feel like there are a lot of things that you want to change, maybe you should take a step back and think about if you're with the right person. This is also a huge one. Never make demands, only make requests. Say like, hey, take the trash on your way out. That's a demand. A request would be, hey baby, would you mind taking the trash out on your way out? Now you might be thinking, is there really a difference here? But there is, because by demanding, you're not really giving an option. You're not giving him an opportunity to kind of do a little act of service, all right? But by asking, in his mind, that's like, oh, by saying yes, I'm showing her how much I care. Because I had the option to say no, but I said yes to show her how much I care, you know? But demanding, the worst situation you can put your relationship in is kind of turning it in from a romantic dynamic to a mother and son dynamic. You want to avoid that at all costs. So always make requests, not demands. You really have to try your best to avoid giving unsolicited advice and criticism. Now, women give other women unsolicited advice all the time. That's something that women don't find offensive. Whereas a man, if you give him unsolicited advice, you're basically telling him that you didn't think that he could do it on his own, which is kind of the biggest insult you could give to a man. Men are very dominant creatures, and they want to think that they can do everything all by themselves, and if you make them feel like they can't, they feel like less of a man. So, and when he feels like he can't handle things on his own anymore, he's going to constantly feel like he has to come to you to get your okay and get your approval, and that's just really emasculating. But it's only natural for him to start to fear you because of how many times you have given him unsolicited advice and made him feel as if he couldn't handle life on his own. You have to learn to be a loving and accepting light in his life, and then he's gonna reach a point where he feels like he can come to you for advice. But if you're always harsh and you're always pointing out things that are wrong, he's going to fear you and he's not gonna want to come to you for advice. The most important tip in any relationship is that you must learn how to communicate your problems calmly, peacefully, and from a place of love. Most of the time when couples argue, by the end of the argument, you're more upset about the actual argument than you were about what you were originally arguing about. This problem is because people get so heated, their ego becomes so furious that you just start taking stabs at one another in an effort to be right in this little debate, and it's 100% not worth it. You really have to train yourself to kind of find your inner Buddha, relax, remember how much you love this person, and really try to make your thoughts clear and concise and not let your emotions get in the way of that. You gotta think all logic, very little to no emotion. Just let them know what was going through your thought process that made you feel upset. And as long as you're explaining it from a loving place, the argument shouldn't escalate and you should be able to resolve the problem. Remind him how much you appreciate him. This is so important, so crucial. Men need to be appreciated. Whether it's a big thing like, you know, getting you flowers, or something little like charging your phone for you, you know, like, hey baby, that was so sweet, like, what would I do without you, da 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 da. Like, men love to feel appreciated. Now this tip kind of ties in with the previous one, but you have to show them how much you need them. Now as women, this one's especially hard because we all know that we got life on our own. So I especially have struggled with this one, but you really have to learn to let them do things, even if it's kind of a favor to them. You know, I know that sounds weird, but when you do little things like, hey baby, can you fix this for me? Or can you carry this for me? It's like they feel like proud to be your man, you know, and like happy that they could help you. And it's really crucial to have little moments like that. So important. Oh my gosh. Do not be needy. Have your own life. You know how they say like #1 rule of playing the game is that, you know, you don't reply right away and you act like you have other things going on, you're too busy to hang out that night, da da da. Well, here's a real good tip. Instead of faking that you're busy, actually be busy. Actually have a life. Have friends, go out with other friends, you know, work on projects, you know. Don't make your man the focal point of your life. Don't put too much energy into your relationship that it takes away from yourself and your own life and your own goals. And a bonus of this is that by nature, when someone's a little bit unavailable and busy, the man is kind of driven a little insane. So it's a win-win, really. Ladies, do not constantly seek validation in your relationship, okay? Have confidence that he loves you or that he's interested in you. Don't like do the shit where you want to go through his phone or you want to be like, who's this? Who's this girl you be liking on Instagram? You know, you gotta let that go. Now, your intuition will tell you if it's something to really worry about. But we all have that moment where there's like maybe this big of a warning sign and we act like it was this big of a warning sign, okay? You can't go fishing for him to tell you how much he loves you every day. You're not, you know, you have to be confident in your relationship. Do not become a nagging mother. This is another one that I feel like I witness so much. As women, yes, we are prepared to be mothers. We are good life mentors and we like calling the shots. However, you cannot nag your man about every little thing. You have to let them live and kind of make their own mistakes and just know when to say what. For instance, like maybe you wake up in the morning and he left some clothes on the floor, and he's always doing this and you're always annoyed, right? Instead of in the heat of the moment being like, babe, how many times am I gonna wake up and find your clothes on the floor? This is getting ridiculous, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right? Instead, I suggest this. Pick up the clothes yourself. Then like an hour or so later, you're having breakfast or something like that. Just be like, hey baby, you know, I noticed you've been leaving your clothes a lot on the floor lately. Honestly, when I wake up, it kind of bothers me. Is there any way you can be a little more cautious with that? I picked them up today, but you know, next time, like, can you just, you know, care a little bit more about keeping the room clean? This one's pretty classic that I think every couple knows, and it's pick your battles. Do not fight over tiny, insignificant shit, guys. It is just not worth it. You really have to learn to not care about who's right all the time. You have to realize that this isn't a competition. This is your partner or your potential partner. And if anything, you should want to constantly empower one another and build each other up, not find ways to tear each other down. When they do something wrong, do not gloat about it. There is nothing worse for a man than when he is wrong about something. Say for instance, you guys are driving. He says that he knows where he's going. In your mind, you're like, bitch does not know where he's going. But just let him go. And then when he realizes that he made a wrong turn, he'll likely say something like, oh shoot, I think that was it back there. And those words are hard for him. He does not want to admit that he, as a man, as the leader of your pact, just made a mistake, okay? Do not say, I knew it was that way. If you just would have listened to me, this wouldn't have happened. Da, 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 da. You can't do that, okay? He is feeling so low. He is a puppy with its tail between its legs right now. You have to help him brush this off. You have to laugh and be like, oh, I would have done that too. Like, that was really confusing. You know, just... even if it's a little bit of a white lie, you know, I just think he needs it to feel better. And I think you would hope that he would do the same for you. And last tip, this is actually something that I personally did not know. I learned this from the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And it is when you are in a really big argument and the man kind of withdraws, he doesn't want to talk about it, you have to let him go. You have to give him his space. Now, as women, this is a little hard for us to understand because when we have a problem, when there's conflict between a woman and a woman or a woman and a man, all we want to do is talk it out, because talking it out is our process of figuring out what the problem is. A lot of the times, we start talking and we don't even know what we're gonna say at the end. We're just talking because that's how we work, that's how we analyze, that's how we process, you know? We just wanna keep word vomiting. Whereas men, they wanna stop and they wanna think and they wanna collect their thoughts before they say them. So when you're in a fight and the woman's like, he's feeling smaller and smaller and smaller and he's like, shit, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say. He wants to go, he wants to collect himself and figure it out. Now for women, this feels like a slap in the face. Like, don't walk away from me, like, let's figure this out. Why are you walking away? But you gotta let him walk away for a little bit. Now I'm not saying let him go out to the bar and to the strip club. I mean, I guess you can't really tell him what to do, but I would hope your man wouldn't do that. When I say let him walk away, I mean give him some time to cool off. Give him, you know, a couple hours, whatever, and then come back in a very calm manner and hope that he's ready to talk. So those are all my tips. I hope you guys found this video to be really insightful. I personally just love learning about these kinds of things, and I've read countless books on relationship dynamics and how to make the most out of your relationship, so I thought I should make a video on this. But ladies, remember your worth. Do not be willing to put forth this kind of effort into a man who's not willing to do the same to you. You deserve more. Don't forget it. Like always, I'm going to request that you guys either like or dislike this video because I really like knowing what kind of videos you like or what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, just to kind of gauge the opinion of my subscribers so I can know what kind of content to put out next. But I think that's it for today, so until next time, bye.